Good morning, everyone. That was a little tricky there. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. I am Reverend Ken. If you're joining us online, thanks for doing so. But gosh, you got to be in this auditorium to feel all this love and energy and creativity. So join us when you can. As I mentioned, my name is Reverend Ken Wilcox. This is the Center for Spiritual Living. You're most welcome to be here. We are a unique community because we're a community without dogma. We don't tell you what you have to believe. We leave that up to you. We encourage you to include our practices of affirmative prayer, meditation, and good work. If you do that, then you're going to see some good stuff coming into your life. Now, to make that happen, all you have to do for the next 20 minutes or so is to leave all your troubles, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, leave that stuff outside, and open up an avenue of spirit possibilities in your life. And what are spirit possibilities? Well, they're for more love, for more joy, more happiness, more music, less humidity, all those things in life that make us feel alive. Because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me. It's showing up, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, I've got a lot of announcements this morning, so to get us going, we're going to have Bridget come up to give us our first announcement. Bridget, come on, step up.
Thank you. Inspired by Reverend Ken's talk last week, I thought a lot about having fun, and I'm leaving in October because I have a grandbaby coming on the way. So it's my first one, and I'm totally thrilled. But so I'm the yoga teacher on Tuesdays, and I came up with a class because so many people have requested a chair yoga class. So it's fun, fit, and yoga fusion fitness. There will be music, chanting, movement, and meditation, maybe even a little dancing. So anyone can do it. If you can breathe, you can do yoga. Please join us Tuesdays in September from 10 to 11 a.m. right here in this very auditorium. Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, see me after.
Thank you, Bridget. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Also today we have our newcomers class. If you want to learn more about our community and think you might like to become a member, this is the class. And we got Carolyn Lang to come up and talk to about us. Yes, Carolyn, you said you wanted to do it. Let's have a little pepper here. Come on.
What a guy. Well, yes, this afternoon, 11:30, there will be a newcomers class. I'm going to join that class because I'm so passionate about this center, and I know that the important thing that we do here is we share our journey. And so with that in mind, I invite you to come share your journey, where you want to go, questions. Gosh, we love questions. And I'll share mine with you. How's that?
That's wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn. Now, we're still collecting school supplies, and today's the last day for that. If you would like to go out and buy supplies and bring them back in, you can do that. We're collecting them on Tuesday, or if you just want to give some money, we can do that as well. And Brenda's the census. Brenda, where are you? She is the person collecting money. There you go. Thank you, Brenda. Brenda is also organizing for us. You know, before COVID, we had a youth program, and we do things with the youth. Well, we're starting back now to do things with the youth, and we're going to go bowling. I forget the day that we're going to do that. There we go. August 25th. We're going to take the young people out bowling. If you know any young people, tell them to come. We can go bowling with them. We can go and watch and have a little snack. That's going to be on the 25th, so that will be a lot of fun. Elaine Malloy is teaching her class here after the service, so stay for that. That's only for a love offering, and it's a wonderful, powerful class. Finally, Richard Austin's family has contacted me, and his celebration of life service will be November 2nd at 10 a.m., so we've got a little while for that to come up. Those are all my announcements, so I know, David, you got some amazing music for us.
one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Bahalua, angels' wings, or heaven's doors. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts they're all the same. We remember when we close our eyes to see that these distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Heaven's Gym or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the Spirit, it's the universe, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air you breathe. It's one power in you and me. It's the moment of creation. It's the everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the self that we abandon for its love that is most deep. It's one power in you and me.
Ah. Thank you, David. That was wonderful. If our teaching has a theme song, that's One Power is our theme song. So to emphasize that more, we got the wonderful, effervescent Linda Ryan coming up to do a reading and treatment for us. Come on up, Linda. And look at that jewelry. You know she makes it, don't you?
Boy,
And it's for sale.
talk about free PR. I had planned to share something with you, and then every now and then Spirit comes through and says, okay, you need to make a change. So as of Friday night, I'm making a change. And this is from Daily Word on forgiving. Forgiving frees us to move forward. So I'm going to read this. Memories of hurtful experiences and painful conversations can repeat in my mind like old movies on a perpetual loop. The best way to free myself of these memories is forgiveness. Forgiving another and even myself is a wonderful freeing and healing practice. It doesn't mean I need to welcome unhealthy relationships or situations back into my life, but it does mean I refuse to be bound by the past. The nature of life is forward motion, growth, and evolution. Staying stuck in resentment while life is happening around me only compounds my unhappiness. Forgiving is the key to my growth. As I forgive, I feel alive, cleansed, and ready to move forward. And I'd like to share, it's probably been 20 years ago that I was taking a Science of Mind class in what's now called Oak Brook Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Peggy Hostetler was the minister at that time. And during that class, I shared how I kept doing 70 times 7, 70 times a day for 7 days a week in forgiving someone in my family that really upset me all the time. So she said to me in class, she said, "Have you ever forgiven yourself for having those feelings?" I have to tell you, that's what I started. It changed everything. So now, every time I know that I need to forgive somebody, something, I forgive myself for those feelings first. And it makes all the difference in the world. And I know in a class in the Unity Church that I was in before I moved here, they said you can't forgive another unless you forgive yourself. So I'll share that with you today. And now for our affirmative prayer, if you'd like to close your eyes, relax. There is one divine presence that I honor and I recognize. It is everywhere present in all of us, all powerful, all knowing, all forgiving. I recognize this presence and know it is within me as well as within every single person. I know today that I take home perfect health, that I take home forgiveness, and that it helps elevate my spirituality through this entire week as I move ahead and share joy and happiness and love with all I encounter. This I know to be the absolute truth. And I am so grateful for this center, so grateful for Reverend Ken and his wonderful messages, so grateful for our music and all those volunteers. And I know that I have spoken the absolute truth as I let it go and let God. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Linda. David?
Think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or has the grinning bobcat why he grins? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once, never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high can the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. And whether you are white or copper skinned, can you sing with all the voices of the mountains? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? You can own the earth and still all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Thank you, David. That was beautiful. Thank you. And it really fits very nicely in my talk this morning. My talk is entitled A Mandate to Love. You know, each of us is on a quest, a journey for the joy of living. And what paves the way for that journey is love. We all long to be needed, to be loved, to be a part of the great drama of life, to know that we've made a difference. And this unspoken urge that binds us together as human beings. It's a force as natural as breathing and as essential as the beating of our hearts. We all want to do the big, huge things, but it's often the smallest expressions of kindness and love and compassion that make the most difference. Like many of you, I've been watching the Olympics, and I've been amazed at the talent these young men and women have, and the heroes that many of them are. One of them that I'm sure you saw is Steve Nuroscic. I'm butchering his name. He's been called the Clark Kent of the Olympics. Yeah. He was the gymnast that gained fame for his work on the pommel horse, and it helped the whole team medal. And the thing about him is that he wears these big, thick glasses. I've worn such glasses in my time. And he has to take them off when he gets on the pommel horse. And he's come out and he's talked about the eye conditions that he has. He has two eye conditions that came at birth, and he has to have these glasses in order to have sight. Now, I'm sure he's inspired people to take up the gymnastics, but how many more has he inspired to move through their disability and strive towards their dreams? Now, of course, we all would love to be, the hero of Olympic, to get all that acclaim. But being human and loving and compassionate is enough to make a difference. Another Olympic story is about Mary Ann Bernark. She said that she was going through her life. She always hoped for Mr. Right to show up. And she said Mr. Right never showed up. She said not even a Mr. Close to Mr. Right showed up. She finally realized she was getting to a point that she was not going to be able to, to hold off if she wanted a family. So she called the agency, and they had 2 boys that had come in. And the 2 boys had needed homes. Nobody wanted them. And she adopted 2 of them. And there's one there, Kenny. You can tell from where that building in the background where they're visiting. And so she adopted the 2 of them. He said about her, she opened her heart and home, welcoming me and my brother, and set the stage for us to flourish. And she says, because of her unwavering support, I had the chance to pursue sports and travel globally and to realize my dreams on the world stage. He said the first time she dropped him off at daycare, he was certain she wouldn't come back to get him, because she said that's what happened in the past. And the foster parents and their family, they would just take the kids and dump them out the county, never say goodbye to them, never tell them what was coming up. And he said he knew she wasn't coming back. But she came back. She went to every track meet he had. When he started traveling internationally, he started paying for her to go and see his tracks meets. And he says now he's bought her a bigger house than the one he has. That's the power of love. That's the difference we can make. We all want to be needed, to be loved. And it doesn't always come to us in the way that we think it should. It doesn't always come to us in Mr. Right. Sometimes it's a little scared 8-year-old kid, but it will come if we keep our hearts open. The urge of every individual is that every individual has this urge. It's in everything. The rose exists to express beauty. Root and branch conspire with nature to give birth to the blossom. You and I are here to express love. You and I, we're here to express love. Now, in the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, probably should be careful about this. The last time I mentioned the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, someone on Facebook said I belong to Evil Inc. Evil Inc. You know, you can click on their comment and go back to their page. And I clicked on her comment to go back to her page. First of all, I wanted to check to see if it was a family member. Since it wasn't coming from a state institution, I surmised it wasn't. It was probably just a stranger. I was going to mess with her a little bit. And I was going to tell her, I said, oh, you know, you found me out. You found me out. And I was planning to put a hex on you. But looking at your photo, I think somebody's beat me to it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. She's got enough troubles of her own. You know, if she's worried about evil out there, she's got enough on her plate. I don't worry about evil. The only evil that I have to deal with is when Publix does a 2-for-1 buy of Haagen-Dazs ice cream. That's about all I have to face up to. So the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, very interesting. She said, matter gives birth to a passion that has no equal. This passion is the need to love. It is inherent in all things, urging them to grow, to evolve, to express. It is as if the universe itself is driven by this creative force. And we, as part of the universe, are no exception. We are no exception. Even the lady that called me evil, she's no exception. So it was up to me to send her inner love and compassion and do a little silent prayer for her. That's what we do. I do that all the time. A lot of times in traffic. A lot of times in the parking lot at Publix. Just send love to people. Kindness and compassion. It's very powerful. We are more than we think we are. We're capable of more than we ever imagined to be. And the most powerful thing we're here to do is to be love and supportive. You can create a Fortune 500 company. You can create, one of the best movies ever, but to be loving and compassion. I was just thinking this week about, you probably don't remember him. He was a choreographer for the movies of the 30s. His name was Busby Berkeley. And he was a tyrant, B. Arthur said he was just brutal to her. Now, B. Arthur was somebody who could stand up to a bully. But one person who couldn't stand up to him, who he really brutalized, was little fragile Judy Garland. And they were doing a movie, her and Mickey Rooney, and she said he made her rehearse it over and over until she had blood in her shoes. Now, the movie they did together, it's remembered, but it's not a groundbreaking movie. Yes, they had this wonderful choreographed dance, but it didn't change history. But you do wonder. You think about all the audiences that she was in front of, all the people she encouraged with her music and her songs. Maybe if he had been just a little bit kinder to her, a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more encouraging, she could have gotten in front of more people. She could have even done even more good. We don't know how powerful we are, how we can, if we open our love, our hearts and souls, how we can empower others to go do greater good than we can ourselves. I went to see my dear friend and prayer partner, Beverly Merlando, this week. And many of you know, just 4 weeks ago, she was on this very stage. And a couple of days afterwards, she had a stroke. And now she's in recovery. And the recovery place that she's in, they keep the patients on a tight schedule. They have therapy, and then they let them rest. But all day long, they're in and out of therapy. So I went to visit her, and the therapist came and said, "We're taking her down to the gym. Would you like to come with us?" I said, "As long as you don't make me exercise, I'm happy to go." So I go down with Bev, and it broke my heart to see Bev, because Bev's a teacher, exercise teacher. She would do classes 6 and 7 times a week. And so it broke my heart to see her struggling with these, small movements. When we got back to her room, I could tell she was really exhausted. She had 2 visitors from Atlanta that were there with her. And so we gathered around her bed. I pulled up close to her, and I just took hold of her hand. Now, I've known Bev for 20 years or more, but you don't necessarily hold your best friend's hand. That's not something that comes easily, particularly for me. I grew up in a household that wasn't touchy-feely. In fact, in the household I came from, a touch was as likely to be a slap as a sign of compassion. So for me to touch someone or hold someone's hands for 20 or 30 minutes, that's a challenge. But I stepped up to that because I could see how deeply Bev was sleeping. And I could tell she was just drinking in the love that was around her. So I was willing to overcome my discomfort to give her that ease. And isn't that ultimately what we're here to do? To push through our boundaries so we can support and encourage one another. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he says there is this power within us that can lift us to the highest level. It can change illness into health, peace from confusion, success out of failure, and happiness out of sorrow. The power is the same creative force that drives nature. It is within each of us, pushing us to love, to improve, to express our highest selves, our spirit-given selves. That's what you're here to express. And Spirit is urging you on, calling you forth, encouraging you to be greater than you think you are, to be more than you think you are. And you're going to be supported every step of the way. Every creation, every cell, every creature exists in and with each other. Our loving acts are not isolated. They are part of a larger, interconnected web of creation. When we care, when we contribute to the collective expression of life, we join in the divine flow of love. And this impulse of love can create possibilities that we never knew existed. 2 weeks ago, my niece was visiting with us. We took my little nephew over to the movies. And when we got out of the movies, there was a note on my car And the note said, we backed into the rim of your car, and here's our telephone number. Give us a call, and we'll pay for the damages. Well, it was just a couple of scratches, and having lived in big cities before, Atlanta and D.C. and San Francisco, I just kind of feel you have a car, you get scratches. But my niece was determined, no, I had to follow up, we had to get this fixed. So I called the Lincoln dealership, and they said to replace the rim was going to be $1,000. 2 little scratches, $1,000. When we contacted the people, they were devastated. They said, we don't want to put it on insurance. We can't afford that. But they said, we have $800 credit on our credit card. If you give them our number, we'll apply it to our credit card. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart because I remember a time when unexpected expenses would come along, and I would have to try to figure out how I could best get it on a credit card. And I didn't want to do it to these people. $800, they paid double that trying to pay it off their credit card. So I didn't want for them to add it to their credit card. So I went to the Lincoln dealership, and I said a bad word. I said a bad word. I'll own up to it to y'all. I know it's going to go no further. And the bad word that I said at the Lincoln dealership, you might want to cover your ears if you're a little, sensitive. I said, can you do it cheaper? And when I said cheaper, it was like Aunt Pitty Pat from Gone with the Wind. They had vapors hearing, could I do it cheaper? The guy at the Lincoln dealership, he thought about it for a while. And he says, it's just a scratch. He said, maybe we can, I know a guy that could put filler in and we can buff it out. And he says, if we do this, he said, it won't be totally invisible. It won't be totally like new, but it will only be $300. That's a big difference. And when we called the people and told them it's only going to be $300, they were so relieved. They were so grateful for that. Later on, when I talked to a friend, I told him, I said, well, we could have gotten a new rim, but instead we're going to get this buffed out, and it's going to save them all this money. And my friend replied, he said, they wouldn't have done that for you. They wouldn't have done it for you. I didn't argue with him because he's that kind of person, but I thought to myself, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. It's between me and the universe. I'm dealing with a higher power. Louise Hayes said your thoughts and actions are the tools you use to paint the canvas of your life. Our thoughts, guided by this creative urge, can transform our reality. They can transform the world. Now, let me tell you, dear ones, our world, it is being shook to its very core. There's tremendous changes going on, but do not be afraid. March boldly into the future that you can envision for yourself. March boldly into that future that Spirit is calling you to live, because we have tremendous energies coming into our lives right now. And we are not here to live in fear and dread. We are here to lift ourselves up, to align with the flow of life, and to make our lives a work of art. Mary Magdalene said, we're all interconnected. We're all intertwined in the fabric of creation. Our actions, no matter how small, ripple out to the world, contributing to the collective expression of life. When we embrace love, when we realize that we're participants in this drama of life, that we are co-creators, every thought, every word, every deed, no matter how seemingly insignificant or small, carry power to shape the world, to make it a better place. You can't go around with hateful thoughts and have a peaceful life. You can't expose yourself to continuous turmoil and not reap the whirlwind of anguish and despair. There's a power within us ordained by God itself to lift us up to the highest level. So this should become our mandate for life, to live with purpose, to create with love, and to contribute to the peace and ever-loving masterpiece that is our human history, to leave the world a better place for our having been in it. And dear ones, you're all needed. You're all necessary. You're all here to create this wonderful masterpiece of love, of joy, and compassion, to bring a new heaven and a new earth to reality here, now, in this lifetime. And we can do it. God is counting on you, and it's never been disappointed in you for one moment. It's never criticized any mistake you ever made. It's always been inspired by your possibilities to make a difference, your possibilities to love, to support, to encourage, to uplift. We're on our way, and heaven and a new earth is our goal. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
I peer through windows, watch life go by, dream of tomorrow and wonder why. The past is holding me, keeping life at bay. I wander lost in yesterday, wanting to fly, but scared to try. What if someone like you found someone like me, and suddenly nothing would ever be the same. My heart would take wing. I'd feel so alive if someone like you found me. So many secrets I long to share. All I have wanted is someone there to help me see a world I've never seen before. A love to open every door, to set me free, to let me soar. What if someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. There'd be a new way to live and a new life to love if someone like you found me. Oh, if someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. My heart would take wing. I'd feel so alive if someone like you loved me. Love me. Love me.
Thank you, David. So now we come to the time we support our center, and we support our center because this place is doing amazing and good work. Now, you have a couple of ways you can support us. One is through volunteership. We always have volunteer programs that we need. One thing that I would like for us to do is, last year we had a Thanksgiving dinner here. On Thanksgiving Day, we brought turkey in, and people gathered and shared the meal. If you would like to help organize that, see me or see Silver Fawn raising your hand there. I would really love that. You can also support us in prayer. So pray for that Thanksgiving dinner. See the turkey moist, not dry. See our youth program growing and thriving. See our message getting out. And, of course, you can support us in coin. We're very grateful for all of it. And however you choose to support us is going to return to you multiplied abundantly. And if you will take your intention and place it over your heart and read for us our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And we'll thank you in advance for your generous contributions. The ushers, if you'll step down. David, I know you got something amazing for us.
Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. Not be all else to me save that thou art. Thou my best thought, by day or by night, waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great Father, and I thy true Son. Thou in me dwelling, and I with thee one.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Terry. And thank you for your support. Your support is allowing this center to continue to grow, to thrive, to be the beacon of hope and light and love and inspiration. So we thank you, we bless it, we release it, knowing it does its good and perfect job, returning to us multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right. So we're going to close our service with an affirmative prayer. I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, well, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power. And that power is perfect love. It's divine intelligence. It created me from itself plus nothing else, so I can walk the soil of St. Augustine and know myself as it knows me. Strong and powerful, dynamic and loving, kind and compassionate. I know I am here to experience God's goodness and love made manifest through me. So here today in this wonderful and glorious place, I choose to know a better idea for myself. I choose to see myself as God sees me, not as weak and wounded, but bold and dynamic, powerful, moving out into the world and making a difference, lifting people up, inspiring and encouraging, bringing love to life. So here today, I can look out onto a world that may be in turmoil, may be confusion, but I can see through those distortions to the truth. And the truth is, there is but one God, and that God is love. And that God is made manifest through my heart and soul. So this morning, I look out onto the world, and I see love blooming. I see people realizing the truth of themselves. I see people discarding the anger and the anguish. I see people rising up to create a world that is like heaven on earth, a world of love and compassion, a world of sisterhood and brotherhood, a world where war has ended, where the dark night of turmoil and anguish have disappeared, where the breaking dawn of God's glory of compassion and love is made manifest by all creation. So this morning, I leave this place inspired. I leave here encouraged. I leave here knowing that I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I am here to bring the glory of God made manifest through my love and compassion and kindness to all humanity. This is my truth, and every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, I'm going to leave you with one last idea, and that is your life. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken wishing you many blessings. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that